Let's get to Washington here, Kyle. This is a fascinating game. 1 o'clock here on Sunday, 257, 258. Kansas City, Washington, Mahomes and Heineke. How about this over-under, right? Starts around that 53, 54 range. We're now seeing 55.5 and about a touchdown favorite across the board, roughly 6.5. Sometimes when you look at the Chiefs, you're like, boy, they should be able to light it up on offense. And you know, Kyle, I think they will. But at the same time, do you trust the Chiefs to get stops on defense? I mean, look, it's not the Bills coming to town, right? It's not the Cleveland offense. There is a downgrade with Washington's offense, but at the same time, if you can't get a pass rush on a mobile quarterback, it's going to have time to throw. And we've seen the Washington football team against good defenses move the football, and that's all you're asking for. So from a betting profile in this game, I know where you're going with this, and I completely agree with you. If you look at Kansas City and you say, oh, I don't want to bet against Kansas City, right? Because they should score points and eventually they're going to catch fire. I understand that. They're an under 500 football team. Bill Parcells always told you, Kyle, you are what your record tells you are. You're not a good football team right now. But even if you have that phobia in your head, like I just can't bet against the Chiefs because they score just about every time they have the football, well, then don't. Just take a look at the Washington football team here. If you think that the Chiefs are going to score a lot of points, look at their team total. If you think the Chiefs are going to score a lot, which means Washington, if they want to hang around, need to score a lot and maybe score in the fourth quarter while they're down 14 points. Remember the Philadelphia Eagles, 22 points coming into the fourth quarter. They score early, and then late when the game was out of whack, they throw a late touchdown pass in that game. That can happen in this as well, because I always like to look at this game and say, all right, if I like Washington's team total here, or if I like Washington's side better. If you look at this football game, Con, I told you, right now, Washington's going to score 17 points. Do they cover this game?
No. I mean,
exactly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Washington won't if they score 17 points. But
exactly.
The Chiefs, I don't know if the Chiefs could hold a Pee-wee football team to 17 points. I honestly don't. And You're right. So
now hold on, real quick.
Ahead.
I'm going to throw this question back to you here. So if they get 17 points, they're not going to hit their team total. They're not even going to cover the game. Now, if Washington scores 24 points, which hits their team total, there's no guarantee that they even cover the spread here as an underdog. So why even worry about going up against the spread? What's more likely to happen, Kyle? 17 or 24, and you could take it away here for the Washington football team.
24 for me, and in fact, you can put the seal of approval up. I love the Washington team total.
Get it, Esteban. Slap it up there.
For me, this game was very, very simple. These two defenses are second and sixth in terms of most yards allowed this season. The Chiefs' defense is second, and Washington is sixth. We thought Washington's defense would be good. They are not. They are absolutely atrocious. The Chiefs do not cover touchdown spreads at home against lesser teams, and now you want me to take them by a touchdown on the road? No, that's just not going to happen. I don't know why anyone would touch a side in this game. For me, it's two offenses that are going to move the ball, so I went there and I said, which team has the lower team total, and that's the one I took. You can get it over 22.5 at -140 over at BetMGM. The reason I like that, Dustin Hopkins cannot make extra points. This guy drives me absolutely insane. So instead of playing through the 24, 3 touchdowns and a field goal, I'm giving myself to 23 just in case he decides to miss another extra point. Yeah. They can still get that field goal and get there. If I was picking a side, I would take Washington to cover because I've just seen no proof that the Chiefs can cover these touchdown spreads, and they're just always overvalued in the markets. But for me, this one was really easy. That Chiefs defense absolutely stinks. And look, Washington's off. I heard I was doing a show with somebody, and they're talking about how the Washington offense stinks. Like, what are you talking about? This team is moving the ball up and down the field. Tyler Heineke, I think, is a solid quarterback, and I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick gets that job back when he is healthy. Heineke has played very, very well. The running game of Gibson, we know the Chiefs can't stop the run. Their secondary is atrocious. McLaurin's going to have advantages out there. Hopefully Curtis Samuel can make the field this week. But for me, it's hard to imagine Washington at home not getting to 23 points. So I took that team total over 22.5 -140, and it gets my seal of approval.
Yeah, and you take a look at the football team in this game also, Kyle, because you're taking a look at, like, I wouldn't even worry so much because a lot of times you don't want to bet through those numbers. Now, if you can get 23.5, and that's fine because you always want to be 24 or below. It just makes sense. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. But also keep in mind, the teams that do well against the Kansas City Chiefs in a spread that's 55 or a total that's like 55.5, they're going to go for a lot of fourth downs here. So they're looking for touchdowns as opposed to more field goals. So even if you do get a bum rap and it's 24.5, I wouldn't worry all that much about it because you don't win and beat the Chiefs by kicking field goals. You win by staying aggressive and matching their touchdown drives, which is good. So if you're a team total backer or even a total backer for the game, going for more fourth downs where you might not get those 2 extra field goals, But if you score a touchdown instead of those 2 extra field goals, that's plus 1 point. Last time I checked here, 7 as opposed to 6 with 2 field goals. So just keep an eye on that one. I do think both of these offenses will be able to score here. And also, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, not going to be at this football game, back on IR. We'll see who picks up the slack here at the running back position. But another explosive player that's down on the Kansas City Chiefs.